Last one. That's a whole lot of goblins. Look at them all. There we go. That is a whole lot of goblins. How quick we can get through this? It's a wall o' goblins. It's funny. They put these mechanics in, but then we just destroy them instantly with fire breath potions, and it's like, well, so much for that. We'll see what happens at the higher levels, though. But it's what his ultimate is for, is to get rid of that problem. Speed potions. I just got all those today and used them all today. Didn't know I think we're doing a Cyberpunk Red Gate. Well, they just announced it, yeah. They only announced it like secretly to some of their close. I don't know, something I got from the Patreon or whatever, like a day or two ago, and then I think they just made the public announcement today. I don't think I ever played the Cyberpunk game, so to me, I'm like, no, okay. What do we get for BBG? Sources of corpses. Nice, good. That's his big buff. What was the last? Duke Ravengard. Damage all champions. Oh, whatever. Well, you gotta be that way, Duke. He's got 2 more greens. BBG has 3 more greens. Not great. Wait, shouldn't we have had more? Wouldn't we have had more out of BBG? I don't know. That feels weird. Oh well. It is what it is. No, that's right. Yeah, he's got 3. We have 3 gold chests. He's got 3 blues. Just we got some of these others that got stuff out of a different chest. That's what happened. Well, basically set. I really think I just want to dump all the gear on the Duke. Although at the same time, it's kind of got a split between BBEG and the Duke, because BBEG is a solid Carlock support, really, really good Carlock support, and obviously so is the Duke. So I may have to split my event tokens between the two. I got it looking right. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that's what it was. It was backing season 2. So they announced it in that private channel, and they just put it in the public channel today. Yeah, hardcore pawns. Epic gets a pretty epic pack. Pretty epic pack. You get Thalora, you get Briv, you get Duke Ravengard, You get Will, isn't it Duke and Will? Will, Duke and Will. And then Farida. I don't understand that part. But because everybody else there is melee. The Duke kind of wants melee. But sure. But sure. So it is going to be odd for people that start with that, and they're going to be like building a formation, and then it's going to be like, why did you give us Farida when Farida doesn't even work with Duke Ravengard? I don't even. It's not even about popularity. It's about like, to me, it's like, did you make the thing right? Here's what they need. Here's what they're doing. They always want to have like roughly equal representation of, men and women in the group. Have an NB in there every now and then, great. But so they probably were like, we got 3 guys. And the Thalora, okay, and then who else? And then I don't know why it ended up with Farida. Don't know why. Would there have been a better... Like, they could have gone Black Viper. Honestly. They could have gone Black Viper. Melee champion. A woman in that slot. Would have synced well with the rest of that group. Like, well, not perfectly. I guess Black Viper doesn't sync perfectly. And she's ranged. I don't know. That's just that one slot, though. I don't know what their rationale was. She put nerds in everything. Like Frida's a nice DPS without item levels. Maybe early on, but she falls off real hard later on. So yeah, I mean, maybe just a fun fun champion for a new player. But again, I like Farida a lot. It doesn't make sense when it's Duke Ravengard's Champions of Renown, which makes it feel like you're centering it around Duke Ravengard, and he only buffs melee champion. The skin isn't for Farida. The skin's for Duke Ravengard. It's his Baldur's Gate 3 skin, basically. Black Viper is a mid-tier DPS, not useless background. She's mid-tier. She's not upper tier, but she's mid-tier. She's at least not in the bottom half. Or in the bottom tiers, I should say. I don't know that it's necessarily half. I think the bulk of the DPS champions in the game are in a fine place. She absolutely doesn't mean she doesn't need a rework. She absolutely does, but she's not like Nahara. Nahara's just bad. Well, Jamila's never going to get a rework. So when I comment about people who are just bad, I'm talking about people who need reworks and who will potentially get one. Jamila is a core champion and will never get a rework. But yes, she is arguably the worst DPS in the game. But there's no point bringing it up because it's never going to get fixed. Mid tier's a bad tier for a pre-stacker. Artemis is mid tier. Until you put a ton of item levels on him. That's the thing, is Artemis and Black Viper are pretty similar early on. And stay that way for a while, but then Artemis scales better ultimately. But yeah, I mean, as long as people keep her in background parties, people are going to think that she's popular because they don't understand that people don't put good champions in background parties. They don't have any way to know. They don't have any way to know that it's not the party you're actively, or they don't have any. I guess they don't have the stats. I would say you would look and see how far are people pushing with these champions, and then you'd get better stats. But they apparently don't seem to have a way to do that. Yeah, they have no reason to rework Barons. I mean, here's the thing: core champions never going to get a rework. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never. Evergreen champions, unlikely. Not never. Unlikely. And Nerds is in that group, right? So, do I agree with that? No, but is that the reality we live in? Yes. There is nothing about Jamila that stands out, Fuzzy Boots. Yeah, so you picked that up real well. She was an experiment like 3 or 4 years ago. Her rework, because this is her rework. This is Jamila 2.0. Her rework tried to. They at the time they were playing out with the idea of what they called bruisers, which are champions that had more base health than regular champions, but not as much as tanks, and that could exist in the tank line. And that whole concept just fell flat. And unfortunately, she's stuck that way forever now. Still better than she was, which is sad. If we ever get the ability to like infinitely scale shields, like in Raid or something, then she could potentially get really good. Because she has a buff that scales off shield, temp HP. But they'll probably never do that either. But yeah, trying to have Jamila as your main DPS, that's hard mode for this game, I would say. Yeah, I think we kind of got lucky that Brunor and Dritz got a bit of a, like, they got at least some love. Like Brunor got some feats and Dritz got a bit of an adjustment when the Champions of Mithril Hall season came around, even though they weren't in the season. Because I think that's all we may ever see. It's unfortunate. But also, like, Xeraphon could use a rework, but it's just unlikely they'll ever get one. Which I think it's unfortunate, because you work hard to get these champions, and then they should be functionally excited that you get them. And I think the only one that like Bluetooth and Crux, the most recent two, the only ones that I feel like, yeah, these are solid champions. You should, that can do something for you when you get them. All the others, I mean, Dragon Bait. I love Dragon Bait as a tank. I don't know that he's super strong, but he's reliable. That's different from being strong. And Azaka's always kind of had her place as a gold farmer, but now I think that time in the sun has ended for the most part because of dirty gold farming. It's just easier to dirty gold farm. Strider, I'm not the one you have to make an argument to. But here's the thing: is the position of the developers is core champions exist for you to use until you get event champions, and then only use if in the rare cases that you're heavily restricted as you move forward in the game. That's the purpose. So, all right, our speed potions wore off, and we are not done. But we're coming up to the end of the stream, folks. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't go to 175. We have so much favor here. This is not a problem at all. I could probably just... Can we click to 175? Probably shouldn't have spent that Fire Breath potion. So yeah, I mean, that's their design philosophy with the core 12 champions. They were functional back in the day when they were released. They helped to get you through back when there was literally nothing else in year one at launch. And then since then, it's like, they tried a little bit to rework, but now they've got so many event champions that need to rework that they've set their minds on, well, they are what they are. And the Evergreens still feel like that falls under that same kind of thing. Like I said, unlikely to see reworks for them, it feels like, but not impossible. I think if we can come up with a good reason, then someone like Xeraphon feels like Xeraphon could get a rework. I think Olcoria could use a rework just to make her stronger. Because you really only use her in full magic parties, right? So why not make it so that she really shines? I don't know. But again, they want you to get event champions, so they want the event champions to, and the featured, like the new champion and the featured champion, they want those to reshape what's going on. And there's so many event champions that I just feel like all the evergreens are going to be on the back burner. They say Ashara should be abandoned. Well, unfortunately, Ashara is the one champion that, Ashara and Tyrell scale into the late game. But changing Ashara so that she was a quad bond was them trying to tone that down a bit, and people did shift away from Ashara, which probably made them happy. But all the glitch feats just are bringing her back into prominence. So I feel like when they put Ashara at quad bond, they should have fixed her double dipping, and then that would have effectively nerfed her enough that she wouldn't be a late game DPS. Quick fix: more eventer greens. Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. Like I said, lots of things that it would be nice for them to improve, but about champions. But, we get one rework a month, which is still better than the seasons because at least they get to focus. And so far, feels like the reworks have been good. Sorry, somebody made a comment on it. Okay. Somebody did not understand how Esmeralda's achievement worked. Okay, hopefully they figured it out now. What do we got? Tomorrow in the morning, I'll be doing Garwa's Guide to Dragon Down Year 7 over on the Cena Games channel. And then in the afternoon, we'll be back over here for day 70. Day 70 of the new account. We will continue to burn through. Ooh, no. Yes. We'll continue to burn through event stuff because I want to get everybody. I want to get these champions geared. Once we burn through, we'll at least burn through tier 2. That's the goal, is to get through tier 2 in this event for all of our unlocked champions. And then maybe in the last week of the event, we'll maybe make attempts at tier 3. Maybe. We'll see how much power we've accrued by then. But we need to do tier 2 because we'll be done with tier 1 after this. We need to go back to that mini patron grind. Once that mini patron grind is done, we need to do a deep push in Avernus. Hopefully our last favor farm in Avernus. And then back on the road to Rhea. Zelda retro stream on Sunday? No, I would not do that as one day. That would be, if we were going to sit down and play Zelda, we would just sit down and play Zelda until Zelda was done. And I don't know if that's on one stream or not. But we're not doing any of the other games, like sit down and play them, a lot of them, until later. I don't know if that's done in a day or we need multiple days. If I do a pop-up stream this weekend, it'll be for that Republic of Pirates. We'll see. Again, those are pop-up streams. Watch the announcement, the announcement channel in my Discord, or make sure you follow here with notifications on. Did we not get more rework champions when you had seasons? Not really. Not good. So the way seasons worked, I'll answer this and then we'll get out of here. The way seasons worked is you got one focused rework, one big heavy rework. Then you got 2 medium to minor reworks. And then 1 minor rework, and then 1 champion that was just in there to get feats. So you weren't getting, like, now what we get is so sure you were getting 4 reworks, but one of them was just maybe just a numbers tweak. The other 2 were maybe numbers tweak, maybe 1 change, and then 1 was actually, hey, let's redesign this champion and make sure they're solid. Whereas now, so that's all you'd get for 3 months ish. Whereas now in 3 months you get 3 fully reworked, focused, hard reworked champions. Is this proprietary information? No, this is an explanation of every. This is just all the information they presented publicly. So, so it was not the same thing. And then they had tons of, they were trying to make tons of skins and all this stuff. It was a lot of work overall, but wasn't getting the same outcome. And you could see like the quality as they went on, the quality was dropping in their reworks. So this is these reworks, since they've done Events 2.0, much higher quality. Much higher quality. All right, we are out of here. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.